Hi everyone, Mr. N here. Let's do one more problem for the proficiency exam. The problem is here in front of you is problem number 21, and the problem is asking you to find what is the y coordinate of the point of intersection for the given system of equations, right, or the given lines. Because obviously we're talking about a linear equation. As you can see, x and y are of a first degree linear function, and you have the four options A, B, C, and D. And there are many ways in which you can solve this problem, many ways in which you can find the right answer. Obviously, this is our goal, right? You want to get the highest score you can for the proficiency exam. And one way will be to basically just go ahead and solve the system. Now, a system of equations could be solved in a few ways, right? And one easy way will be to use either substitution or elimination. Now, in this case, some of you will say, hey, I'm going to go with substitution because y is already given in terms of x in the first equation here. So all I have to do is wherever I have y in the second one, right, just plug in that expression in x. And obviously you can go with that. And if you will do that, the second equation here becomes what? 2x, right? Nothing changes, minus 3 times y. But y is what? Y in terms of x will be 2x plus 1, because we're using the substitution method and we're substituting instead of y. What is y equal to, right? And y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, and this equals 5. What should we do next? Well, next is about solving this linear equation in x, right? And first thing is simplifying the expression. And to simplify it, you have to eliminate this parenthesis here, and we'll do that by multiplying that 3 or negative 3 if you want to everything inside the parenthesis. This is, you using the distributive property. And my equation becomes 2x minus 3 times 2x will be minus 6x. Minus 3 times 1 will be minus 3, right? Or negative 3 times 1 will be negative 3. Equals 5. Next step, combine like terms. Well, I got 2x's minus 6x's. That will give me negative 4x's minus 3, nothing changes here, equals 5. I will isolate my variable, which in this case is x, well, is the expression with x, which is negative 4 times x. And I will do that by basically adding 3 to both sides. And you add the columns, right? I got negative 4x plus nothing, because there's nothing here, would be negative 4x. Minus 3 plus 3 cancels out, eliminates each other, right? Bring down the equal sign, equals 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. And we're almost done. What do you have to do next? Well, next is about finding x. And to find x, I will divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4, both sides. You have x equals, a positive divided by a negative is always negative. A divided by 4 is 2. X equals negative 2. Now be careful, because the problem is asking you to find what is what. What is the y coordinate? And you just found x. So you're not done. You have to go back. You have to go back to your initial first equation and find that y. And to find y, all you have to do is substitute x with the value that you just found, right? So your y will equal 2 times x, which x we said is negative 2, plus 1. And this equals what? Well, 2 times negative 2 is definitely going to be a negative 4, plus 1 will equal what? Negative 4 plus negative 1, plus 1, I'm sorry, will be negative 3. And this is your y. And this is your answer. B equals negative 3. Okay? Now this was one way. If you cannot figure out how to solve it using this way, you have another option. And the other option would be basically to take each one of your answers here and plug them back into your system. So let's say if I would take, let's see, basically my y equals negative 2. If y equals negative 2, you say if y equals negative 2, then your system, which is here, will be what? Negative 2 equals 2x plus 1. The second equation will be 2x minus 3 times y, but we said y is what? Negative 2 times negative 2 equals 5. And what you have to do next here is to find x. Solve x in each one of these equations. So let's see if I'm solving the first one, and I'm solving it by taking 1 away from both sides, which gives you what? Negative 2 minus 1, which would be negative 3. Be careful here when you add and subtract integers, right? Equals 2x, and 1 minus 1 will be 0, equals 2x. So if you solve for x, you divide by 2 both sides, and you find that your x equals negative 3/2, okay? And you will hold on to that. Now you go to the second equation and try to solve for x. First of all, multiply negative 3 times negative 2, and you have what? 2x doesn't change, right? But negative 3 times negative 2, or if you want 3 times negative 2 with the negative sign in front, will be positive 6 equals 5. What should be the next step? Well, next step, take 6 away from both sides. Subtract 6 from this side, subtract 6 from the other side, and you have, well, 2x equals 5 minus 6 is going to be negative 1. Now, as you guys can see, this one will give me an x equal to negative 1/2. Well, the first one, x was negative 3/2, and that's not okay, right? It's impossible to have a solution of the system with two different x's. There's no way to be the right answer, so obviously y equals negative 2 doesn't work, and you're going to cross it off. And you can follow the same steps with each one of them. But like I said, this is the longest way. This is a method that will be more time consuming than the first one, which would basically solve the system by using substitution. So I would recommend you to work on with the first method. However, if you don't remember how to do it that way, you can go back and just use trial and error by plugging in the values of your y, solving for x, and if the two x's are not the same, that means y is not good. And you will see that if you plug in y equals negative 3, you will find the same x from both equations, and that's why you will get B as the right answer to this problem. Okay? Alright guys, thank you very much. I will see you next time.